Kentucky Derby future wager pool number 2 and the Sires wager closes on Sunday, and possible Kentucky Derby contenders at Churchill Downs on Saturday in the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club. $400,000 on the line, along with 10, 4, 3, 2, 1 points on the road to Kentucky Derby 149. Joe Christopher and Scott Shapiro, and Scott in the goldenrod. Tom Amos has Hoosier Philly. He also has a nice colt in Curly Jack, the winner of the Iroquois, one of the likely favorites in the boys race.
One of the likely favorites, but I don't think Curly Jack is anywhere near the class and talent of Hoosier Philly, who looks like a standout in the goldenrod and an early favorite for the Kentucky Oaks. On the other hand, Curly Jack got the job done, as you mentioned, in the Iroquois, was beaten with a good trip handily in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Get some class relief here, Joe, but I'm still going to play against that Iroquois. I thought it was an underwhelming race in the end. The two favorites failed to fire. They crawled home. Didn't get a great number, better than I thought it would get, but Curly Jack at 3-1, not for me.
He was an even fifth in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile behind Forte, got a good catbird seat trip, and just couldn't go on with the top contenders that particular day. The 8 Instant Coffee is 5-2 on the morning line, was fourth in the Breeders' Futurity after winning the debut, going 7 furlongs at Saratoga. Like the recent works for this Brad Cox trainee, Bolt Oro, tremendous first crop stallion. We don't really know how well his horses are going to do around 2 turns, but this is a horse in this race, at least, that I'm very interested in.
Yeah, he makes a ton of sense. If you're a Thorograph user like you and I, it's a little bit of a standout in terms of his first 2 numbers on the Thorograph sheets. I don't fully trust it as the likely favorite in here, but he's the clear horse to beat. This horse took 0 money on debut at Saratoga and ran huge from the inside after just an okay break. And then tough to figure out how he ran in the Breeders' Futurity. The top 2 just ran away from the rest of the field, Forte and Loggins. One could argue they're the 2 best 2-year-olds in the country at this point. He was a part of those that were in the blanket finish for third, getting beat by Red Route 1, who's also in here. I think Instant Coffee, the one to beat, but I'm going to look elsewhere, Joe. I'm going to go to an 8-1 shot in Cyclone Mischief, a horse that needs to run faster in terms of numbers, but I've been impressed with both of his first 2 efforts. Very tough to win at the 1-turn mile at first asking. He almost did that when getting bet very, very heavily for trainer Dale Romans, and then backed it up, although the number didn't come back fast in terms of Brisnet speed ratings or Thorographs. But I thought it was a very professional, easy win at Keeneland on a mile and a 16th. He moves forward, which I think he has at least one move forward in him in this spot. I think he can spring the upset.
Well, Scott, a little bit of a wild card in the Kentucky Jockey Club is Freedom Trail. The dam was 0 for 6 lifetime, but is a half to Opportunity, Executive Privilege, a 2-time Grade 1 winner at age 2. Her second full by collected here out of a Warfront mare that I mentioned, Freedom, who does have some siblings that were very good on dirt. 2 starts so far, has been very impressive. Both of those races on the turf, though.
Certainly makes sense giving it a shot over the main track. I do think turf is where this one will end up doing his best work, but the biggest money and the biggest prestige comes in dirt races and the road to the Kentucky Derby, and of course the first Saturday in May. So we'll never fault connections for giving it a chance over the main track.
All right, Scott's going to go with Cyclone Mischief, 8-1. Sorry, Scott, you're not going to get that price. I'm going to go with Instant Coffee, the 5-2 morning line favorite in the Kentucky Jockey Club at Churchill coming up on Saturday. Don't forget the TwinSpires Hit It and Split It on the late pick 4 promotion. Make sure you opt in, play the late pick 4. If you hit it, you're going to split in the prize pool, which is $2,000. Stars of Tomorrow, Saturday at Churchill Downs. For Scott Shapiro, I'm Joe Christopher. Best of luck and enjoy the races.